and welcome back to Manifesting Minds. Today, we are going to be talking about blocks for manifesting, why it doesn't work. We're going to be talking about some of the reasons. Actually, I'm going to do a whole bunch of videos. This one specifically is talking about mixed signals. Okay, so the law of attraction, manifesting, goes off of the idea that it's not just the visuals that we create. It's not just the vision boards. It's not just knowing what we want. It's how we're feeling about that. Okay. So you've probably heard, I'm sure this is probably not a totally new concept to you, but when we're talking about the law of attraction, you're supposed to feel abundant before you actually are. And I know that's kind of a weird concept. How can I feel abundant when there's $0 in my bank account? Or how do I feel loved if I don't have a partner, if I don't even date anybody? How do we feel something that we don't already have? This concept is ridiculously, ridiculously important, though, because what we feel, the universe is listening to. And that's what it gives us more of. Like attracts like. You catch more bees with honey than you do with vinegar, right? What we're feeling on the inside is what we will get more of. The truth is, you've been manifesting your whole life. We've just been leaving it randomly up to chance. Unfortunately, sometimes we manifest negative things. A lot of times, actually, we do. Anytime we think something along the lines of, it's hard to make money, I always get screwed. And you've got that congruent feeling. You feel that that's true. And you know what? Reality proves you right. That's exactly what we end up getting. Sometimes people will argue that and they'll say, well, no, but it is true. For everybody? For everybody in the entire universe believes that everybody always gets screwed in the entire universe. What we believe, we create that reality. Now, you could choose to go along with this or not, but this is a really cool concept once you get it. Once you fully understand that we are manifesting all the time, taking responsibility for the negative things that we've manifested actually is kind of empowering, because if we can look at the past and go, oh yeah, that horrible transaction or that horrible deal or that terrible client or that horrible job, I had a really bad feeling before that happened. Actually, it kind of can even give us proof that manifesting in the law of attraction works. Okay, so going back to what am I talking about when I'm saying mixed signals? So if like attracts like, that's great, right? You feel abundant, you get abundance. Except what if you feel abundant for 20 minutes and then you feel devastated the rest of the day? Which signal is the universe supposed to listen to? Because we're sending two different signals. What if we get all jazzed and we're like, oh yeah, I deserve this. I deserve this. I got this. This is going to be awesome. This is going to be awesome. We get ourselves all pumped up. An hour goes by, life goes on, and we're like, God, everything sucks. And we spend the rest of the day in that everything sucks energy. You see, it's not just about feeling good for a few minutes. It's not just about being abundant, feeling abundant and vibrating that, and then bam, you've got it. There's also duration, and there's the strength of the energy too. So by the strength, maybe we could compare this to two radio stations. So let's pretend that you have two radios playing opposite types of music. Maybe we've got some good old oldies playing, we've got some Spanish music playing. If they're equal levels of volume, that's kind of confusing. But if the volume on one is kind of low and the other one is cranked up to 10, you may not even notice the other radio station that's playing in the background. You're going to hear the one that's cranked up to 10. So when I'm coaching somebody to fully embrace manifesting and be able to create this in their life, a lot of times it's this mixed radio station. It's this mixed signal concept that gets in the way of manifesting fully and quickly. They'll get on the abundance feeling and they've got it, they've got it, they've got it. But you know what? Maybe it's only up to a 2 or a 3. One of the other videos that I did, we talked about gratitude and how important it is to have that feeling of gratitude, because the more grateful you are for things that you have, the more likely you are to create and attract things grateful into your life. But if we can only get that gratitude feeling up to like a volume 3, and what if we can only get that gratitude up to a volume 3 for 15 minutes in the morning? What energy are we broadcasting? What radio station frequency are we broadcasting the rest of the day? If the rest of the day we're back in this, God, I hate my job, and that's a volume 10, which signal is the universe supposed to listen to? Maybe both. Maybe both. So then maybe we get a little bit of abundance. Maybe we get a little bit of things going right and a whole lot of life sucks going on at the same time. You see, we're sending mixed signals to the universe. We're sending the, oh my God, everything sucks. And we're sending, I'm in abundance. But our ratios are off. The law of attraction manifesting works. We're already doing it. We're born doing it. Now we're doing it on purpose instead of leaving it up to chance. And anytime you're ready to do something on purpose, it's going to take a little bit of work. It's going to take some brain gym. It's going to take some exercising. So as this series goes on, I will constantly be encouraging you to meditate. I'm going to do a whole bunch of videos on meditating. So just for the moment, I will briefly say that what meditating does for the mind is it teaches you to be in control of it. We've maybe spent our whole life being, I guess, kind of maybe out of control, random thoughts come up. We can't shut the voices off. We feel this way and we can't control it. And I'm upset and I can't bring it back. I don't know how to bring it back down. I can't bring it back down. Meditation is learning how to drive your brain. It's taking control of the wheel and saying, okay, I'm going to do this for right now. Your first goals when it comes to meditating should probably be just to be quiet for 5 seconds. Sometimes that's all we can manage, is just sitting there for 5 seconds and telling the voices in our head just to shut up for a minute. Now, there's a million different techniques of meditating, and I'm going to get into all of those because meditating is actually really, really cool. It's a very, very powerful mental tool, and it's a mental exercise. It's mental gym. So meditating will teach your brain, teach you how to be in control of your brain. There's tons of different exercises, and like I said, we'll get into that. But I am going to be encouraging you to start meditating, even if it's only for 5 minutes. When you're learning to manifest, you need to harness these energies. You need to harness that feeling of abundance, that feeling of being loved, that feeling of joy, whatever it is that you're working on manifesting. And we need to broadcast that. We need to feel that feeling, and we're going to send it out. The challenge becomes what happens with the rest of the day. So meditation will help us be able to control the rest of the day so that we're not accidentally broadcasting life sucks the rest of the day. So here's another example of these mixed signals cross wiring that we might be sending to the universe. So oftentimes I'll have people say, it worked, I got this. And then nothing either comes of it or it falls apart or something like that. For example, I was coaching a real estate agent, and her price range had been in the 200 to 300,000. So we were working on manifesting, increasing her income, and she got a lead that was for $1 million property right in her lap. Randomly, she had this lead. She calls me like 3 days later and she hadn't followed up on it. Hello, you manifested a $1 million lead in your lap, which is worth 5 deals in your regular price range, and you don't follow up on it. And she's like, well, I don't really know that market really well. And, my confidence, I'm not really. Okay. So she manifested the money. She manifested the real estate lead, but then doubt, self-doubt, low self-esteem, I don't know if I can do this, creeps in, and it sabotaged, it cross-wired, it cross-counteracted what she had manifested into her life. If you're familiar with manifesting and you found that in the past it didn't work, do a self-analysis and notice if maybe this was the block. Notice if maybe you're sending mixed signals out into the universe. This is the first block that we're going to be talking about. Well, like I said, we'll be talking about more techniques so that you can control that. But just so that you know, for right now, if you've already experimented with this or not before in the past, I'm assuming that you probably have. This is not like a totally new concept. Recognize when you're sending out mixed signals. Recognize that, ooh, I wake up in the morning and I wake up on the wrong side of the bed. Well, you woke up with your brain waves at their optimal for manifesting, and you woke up broadcasting the wrong thing. Okay, so tip number 1 for combating that is we need to learn mental control. We need to learn mental mind control. Meditating is a great way. So here's your homework until the next video comes out. Sit with yourself for 5 minutes. That's it. Just sit with yourself for 5 minutes. And as you hear all these voices popping up and all your to-do lists and all the things that you have to do, they're coming up and they're rushing around in your head. Shh. Give me 5 minutes. I'm taking a mental break. You're exercising control over the thoughts. Remember in another video, part of the reason why controlling the thoughts is so important because a thought creates a picture and a picture generates an emotion. So as soon as all these thoughts start popping up in your brain, oh, I got to do this. Oh, I got to pay this bill. Every single one of those is attached to a picture, which is attached to an emotion. And now your emotional state it's spaghetti all over the place. Controlling your thoughts is the first step to being able to control the signals that you're sending out into the universe. You see how those are connected? If you can control the barrage of thoughts, thoughts create pictures, pictures create emotions. Emotions are the frequency that the universe is listening to. When the brain goes wild with blah, 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 mental chatter, the monkey chatter that we have going on, how many emotions is that generating as we're thinking about, ooh, 4, 5, 6? Maybe the feeling that it's generating is confusion. We don't want to be broadcasting that to the universe. We want to be broadcasting clarity. So how do we feel some clarity? Well, one of the ways that we do that is we start learning to take control of our brain. We start learning how to take control of those thoughts. Okay. So this is the homework, 5 minutes, that's it. Just sit for 5 minutes and shut out the voices. They're your voices. Yeah, they're your voices. They can talk as much as they want later. You're learning how to control them because this is a skill you're going to need so that you can send the right message out for the law of attraction to work. Okay, don't forget to like and subscribe to this brand new channel. And look for the next video because the next video we're going to be talking about more blocks and what we can do to overcome them. Okay. Leave some comments. Tell me if you were able to do your 5-minute meditation. Okay. That's your homework. Actually, you know what? If you could even do it 2 or 3 times a day, you can even do it in the bathroom. You can do it in your car in the parking lot. This is a mental exercise to stop the thoughts for 5 minutes. That's it. That's your homework. Okay. Like and subscribe, and I will talk to you soon.